Reggie Miller on the call for the Warriors-Rockets Game 4 last night. He'll be heading to Oakland. Game 5 Wednesday at 10:30 Eastern on TNT. Good morning, Reg. How you feeling?
Man, those guys that you just listed, man, they were pretty good. Jerry West, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and obviously Kevin Durant has been spectacular in these playoffs. To me, I've always been a big proponent of how do guys perform under duress, and what Durant has done on the road in these playoffs has been absolutely special.
I want to bring back a road game for you in the playoffs. It was 1995. On this day, when you had that great comeback against the New York Knicks, you had 8 points in 9 seconds. What don't I know about that moment in your career?
Well, I think breaking huddle, being down 6, I was so upset personally. I felt that we were just going to give another road game away to the Knicks because we had not, up to that point, been successful versus New York in the Garden, especially in the playoffs. So being down 6, I said, okay, we can get a quick 3 here. We can start to play the free throw game. I did know that they didn't have any timeouts. So, a bad pass here, a turnover, we would have a shot. But my first inclination was just to make the first 3 foul, and hope that they miss free throws. So I make the first 3 and understanding that they didn't have any timeouts left. And once I saw Anthony Mason take the ball out, I knew, I was like, okay, well, we have a shot, possibly. I know people want to talk about the shove on Greg Anthony. I still will go to my grave and say that he slipped. And then the pass came to me, which I was shocked, and I knew instantly that I had to get behind the three-point line. Because a lot of people say, why didn't you just go in for a layup? We were down 3. Why would I go in for a layup to be down 1? Absolutely not. I'm getting behind the 3, and if I make or miss, then so be it. But no, I was getting behind the 3.
But you also took the shot from almost the same exact area. So you hit back-to-back threes from, I'm going to guess, your footprints were probably in the same place.
Yes, they were. And what made it even sweeter is they were in front of my good friend Spike Lee.
Oh, God.
Probably having a heart attack during that moment. And it's funny because during the game, obviously, it was so loud. It was packed. It's the Garden. A lot of the Knicks fans had left when they were up 6, so it was pretty empty in there. And then next thing you know, it was like bedlam. And, I'm doing that they choked, and which was probably a mistake on my part because they smacked us in game 2. But it was a great moment.
And, of course, Michael Jordan overshadows you on this day because it was on this day that Mike bowls against the Cavaliers, and poor Craig Elo is hanging in air, and then Mike hangs a little bit longer and then hits that jumper that eliminates the Cleveland Cavaliers. One of the great teams in NBA history that didn't win a championship, that Cleveland Cavalier team is up there.
They were loaded. Mark Price, you talked about Elo, Brad Daugherty, Larry Nance.
Yeah.
That team from top to bottom, but that young black Jesus, Michael Jordan, that shot is so iconic because I remember watching that, and when he was going, first of all, the fact that they were able to get him the basketball, because I thought that was going to be a turnover. He faked left, and got the basketball and a couple dribbles, and I'm like, well, he's coming down, isn't he? No. Wait a minute, is he hovering? Is that a hoverboard underneath? When is he coming down? And then when he made the shot, the reaction, that was pure Michael Jordan. Absolutely pure Michael Jordan.
If you had to bet on one, Reg, Celtics win their series with Milwaukee or the Rockets beat Golden State, which one would you take?
The Rockets beating Golden State. These are two teams that are very familiar with one another, and what we've seen up to this point is what both teams do. They held serve. I will say this. Going back to the Bay Area, and we have Game 5, Kevin Harlan, Allie LaForce, and myself on Wednesday, what the Rockets are doing, because they're getting contributions. Look, James Harden's been great. Eric Gordon, to me, has been the X factor because of his scoring. But to get contributions from Shumpert, Austin Rivers off the bench, Steve Kerr and the Warriors, they are getting absolutely zero from their bench. And it's going to take, the longer this series goes, it favors Houston because they're able to use Nene off the bench, and they're getting breaks for some of their guys, and they're playing small, and P.J. Tucker, again, doing all the little things to help Houston win. The starting five is getting taxed. Too many minutes for Andre Iguodala, and they are making Klay Thompson and Steph work at the defensive end, and to me, that is affecting their offense. And they have dead legs and they're tired legs because they have to defend. They are constantly putting Steph in pick and rolls and making him guard Gordon, Chris Paul, and at times James Harden. And to me, it is wearing him down.
The most unstoppable player in the postseason this year is who?
I'm still going to go with Kevin Durant. But what Kawhi has been doing with Toronto and what we've seen from James these last two ball games, those three players are able to do whatever they want on the floor. But to me, Kevin Durant is at a different level. You hear me keep saying how you want it, where you want it. He can get anywhere he wants on the court. And because of that 7-foot frame, long arms, he can post you up. He has that Dirk Nowitzki where he puts that leg up, and there's no defense for it. So they're switching. They switched Capella on him. They got a taller guy thinking that length is going to affect him. He drives right by them. So I would go with Kevin Durant. Dare I not mention Giannis, who put up, 39 last night in 16. But to me, he doesn't have the offensive, repertoire that those other three guys have, and Harden and Kawhi and KD. His all-around game, I think, is better than probably, those three guys. But in terms of scoring, I'm going to go with KD.
Talking to Reggie Miller. Reg on the call with Game 4 last night. Game 5 Wednesday night at 10:30 Eastern on TNT. Finish this sentence. If the Celtics don't advance.
I do think changes are coming. I think Danny Ainge, number one, I hope he gets better. I know he had a mild heart attack. I think major changes could be coming. I think that you may see Anthony Davis in a Celtics uniform. I think they wanted to hold on to some of those younger guys and Tatum and Brown. But looking at these playoffs, I mean, it's not like they're really doing anything. And I think if you can get Anthony Davis, and this is if Kyrie stays.
Do you think he does?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't either.
I do not. I do not. I think he's headed for Madison Square Garden along with KD and maybe the number one pick if they get that. I think that's just my personal opinion. If
the Warriors don't advance,
I think it's going to win or lose. I think it's going to be a new look Golden State team. I think KD is out the door. The question mark is going to be Klay. I've read comments that if he's not offered the max, he's out the door. Boogie Cousins, because of the injuries, I don't think he's going to get a major deal, but I can see him staying now. I can. If he's going to take a price cut, a salary cut, I can see him staying now, but I definitely think KD is gone. My question is going to be, what is Klay going to do?
Would you give him a max deal?
I would not give him a max deal. I think he's asking for 5 years, 190.
Yeah.
If I can get him 5 years, 170, 175, and he's happy with that, I don't know if I would give him a max deal. But let me say this, he has certainly earned it. And if he can get it elsewhere, I'm sure he will. But I don't know if I would give him the max.
But why is it that Klay gets credit, he doesn't get blame? Steph gets credit and blame. KD gets credit and blame. Draymond gets credit and blame.
Well, the three guys you just mentioned, two are former MVPs, and one is the Defensive Player of the Year and really the heartbeat and sound of the Warriors. Klay is great. That's why I don't know your third or fourth best sounding board. I don't know if you can give him a max. He's earned it, 3 championships, don't get me wrong, and one of the greatest shooters of all time. But he is not the focal point of that Warriors team. Right now it's KD, number one. It was even KD when he joined 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because he was best player. Then Steph. Steph is the face and will always be the face and will go down as the best player ever in a Golden State Warriors uniform. And I think the sounding board is Draymond. So the reason why I think Klay, flies under the radar is because, we focus on those other three first. That's why I'm not sure that's a max. You can't give your fourth best player a max deal.
Yeah, that's I understand the logic behind that with what you're saying, but then I wonder if they slight him, or he feels like it's a slight, and they say, "Hey, could you take 5 years, $160 million?" Then all of a sudden he goes, let me see what the Clippers are offering here, because Kawhi could use a wingman here, and then maybe have something like that.
Oh, then he's gone. I can't fault him. Look, all you need is one team. You need one team to offer you that. He's earned the right to jump. He's won 3 championships. So it's okay if he goes to the Clippers. He's going home. He's from the Southern California area, grew up there. So, I won't fault that. Just like I'm not going to fault them not offering him the max.
I know you got to go, but I did want to ask you about the Monty Williams situation. That Adrian Wojnarowski said that he turned down the Lakers, or he took the Suns' job, and the Lakers are surprised. I always thought it was a foregone conclusion Ty Lue's getting the job, but did Monty Williams make the right decision here? If you had the Lakers or the Suns, which job would you take?
Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
With that young core, Booker, Ayton, a potential top, let's say, 3 pick. It's a great location to live, to play. It's a great fan base. You don't know what's going on with the Lakers. You don't know what's going on in the Lakers front office, the scouting. Don't get me wrong. You've got LeBron. That's great, but right now that's it. And there's a lot of heavy expectations. And to me, I think Ty Lue is fit for that job. He understands LeBron. He's won a championship with him.
Yeah.
I think that's a good fit. But if I'm Monty Williams, I made the right decision for the Valley of the Sun.
I know you got a plane to catch. We'll be watching on Wednesday night. Thank you, Reg.
Theodore, you are the best. And, hey, know this. We are here for you. We love you. Whatever you need from the 5th Danette, I am here for you, brother. All right? I am here for you.
Thank you, Reg. That's Reggie Aloysius Miller.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.